These are a collection of Civil War documents that came from a direct descendant of Captain Frederick Grant, who was the commanding officer of the 76th Louisiana Regiment Company 4. This is a great wealth of information since there's hardly anything regarding the company online. The first item was Captain Grant's gunpowder flask. The next item was his soldier's prayer book. The first major document is a fun book. It is bound with wood and cloth. It has 8 written pages, plus 14 blank pages at the rear. It's completely handwritten notes, signed by an officer at the end of each entry. It begins at Port Hudson, Louisiana, April 25th, 1864. Then it goes throughout Greenville, Louisiana, December 30th, 1865. It's kind of a hybrid between minutes of the meetings, audits, accounting ledgers, and it was done by only commissioned officers. Next item is the first Civil War letter. All the letters are to Captain Frederick Grant. This one's from New Haven, Connecticut, December 4th, 1862, from E.S. Minor, a female. Has lots of military content regarding battles, generals, etc., and liberation of slaves. It's also could be considered, the way it was written, kind of a coded letter, but you'll have to make a judgment on that. The second letter is April 8th, 1863, Brasher City, Louisiana, which is a site of a famous Civil War battle. It has military content. He gives away the headquarters locations of General Banks. Had this letter been intercepted by the enemy, it could have caused security problems and compromised his position. General Banks was had a major battle near New Orleans. The next letter is New Bern, North Carolina, August 6, 1864. Military content regarding battles, regiments, the dead, the wounded numbers, and it also refers to General Grant. Note there's a Liberty and Shield embossment with watermark at the upper left side of the first page, which meant this was probably official military stationery. These are now just documents. This one's November 16th, 1863, from the Property Return Division, Ordnance Office, War Department. It has no date, but it's talking about stolen property for moving to Fort Jackson, not due to his negligence. Gunslings were stolen, screwdrivers, etc. This next one is November 16th, 1863. This is from the Property Returns Division. Strike that first one being from the Return Division, because this is the one. Anyway, you see it's basically a letter about equipment. This is an abstract of materials. First quarter of 1864. Statement of ordnance and supplies. Corps, Africa. Same thing. This one is about a private who was ordered to turn over his scale to the captain, and he threw it away. He was charged 56 cents for that action. February 1864. Invoice for ammunition. May 5th, 1864. Invoice for clothing. May 20th, 1865. This is a multi-page document. August 1865. Regarding clothing. This is a very nice piece. It lists, it's in August 1865. It lists all the soldiers and some musicians, clearly spelled out neatly. And over here you see their X marks where they could not sign their name, and then someone wrote over their name. And that was the person who was the witness. Very nice indeed for a nice list of all the people in the regiment. Very nice indeed. This is September 1865. List of articles lost by the members of the regiment. A letter near Shreveport, September 30th, 1865. November 1865. These are orders. December 16th, 1865. Now this item, unfortunately in poor shape, is the regiment memorial, which is nice about here at the bottom. It has a sketch of what they did, their troop movements, their battles, people who deserted, a lot of the names you can see, and of course parts of the data is missing. General Grant is, I'm sorry, strike that. Captain Grant is mentioned somewhere along here. There he is, Captain Frederick Grant, company officer. Anyway, even though it's in bad shape, it's good to have the names of the people who died, who were transferred, who deserted, names of the musicians, and so on. This is Frederick Grant's certificate from Connecticut. As you can see, excuse me, as you can see, it's in bad shape. And this is 1895, much later after the war, but this is another certificate. That was briefly, wish I could have had better photography, but it was the best I could do. But it is a great collection of Civil War documents for a specific infantry from Louisiana.